Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. This is another decoration that I'm going to share with you today, and I've made this one for Christmas and this one, but of course you don't have to make them just for Christmas. They can be decorations for birthdays or even weddings. That's a very pretty pink one. But this is the process you need to go through to make these ornaments. So this is the die that I'm going to use, and this is the Heirloom Ornament from Spellbinders. And what I've done is I've taken the largest die and I've cut myself several shapes in that size, and I've taken the next one down and cut several shapes in that size. And once you've cut your shapes, if you keep your Spellbinders on a magnetic sheet, they won't get lost or damaged. And once I've cut the shapes, I've embossed every one of them. So I've gone from just a plain to a snowflake background on this one, and on this one I've just used the Swiss dots, and on the edges of this one I've inked it with Dusty Concord. So we've gone from the plain version to the patterned version. With all the patterned pieces, all I've done is just pick out some of the, because it's got snowflakes on it on mine, I've just scribbled on the snowflakes with my quickie glue pen, and then I've just added it to the glitter in my box, and that then will just create some pattern onto the snowflake and give you a little bit more detail. Now from the white shape that's been embossed, all I've done is just rounded off the top corner and the bottom, because it's very difficult to make these pointed ends stick together. And then I've gone around the edge with the glue pen and dipped it into the glue so that each of my shapes is now glittered and rounded. And I have got 10 of these white ones and 10 coloured ones. And once you've done that, all you're going to do is glue one of the coloured ones into the centre of each of the white ones, so that you now have a series of shapes that I've got patterned paper on them. And once you've glued all your pattern pieces onto your main decoration, you're just going to score and fold it all the way down the central part, and then fold it inwards. And if you crease it with your bone folder, you'll have a nice sharp crease. And you're going to do that with every one of them. Now if you want to decorate these little panels up, I'm going to use some of the bling from Want to Scrap, and I'm going to cut this into pieces, because all you need to do is just add the bling to the sides of the ornament wherever you want it, but not in the centre bit. So this beautiful bling comes all in one piece, but you don't need to use it like that. It's self-adhesive, so you can cut it down into whatever shape you want it. You remove it from the backing carrier sheet very carefully, and then you just apply it wherever you want it on your cards. And these pieces have just got little bits added to them, and I'm going to carry on and do the rest, but that just gives a little bit more of added glamour to the card. So there's my bling added to all my shapes, and now you need to start assembling your ornament. So I'm just looking at the pale colours and the dark colours. So I'm going to use this dark one, and if you add your glue to one side of the shape, and I'm using a wet glue to hold it together, and then press one of these onto that shape, and you're going to make sure that they're lined up and level, and press it in place. And there's the first part done. Then you need to add your glue to this side and add another shape in place, and again keep them lined up and level, and press it into place. Now, although I cut 10 of the shapes, I've glued 8 of them together, but I think that is enough to enable you to be able to see inside to the ornament, to all the bling, and that gives you a nice shape to work with. Now, if you open the ornament up again, in the centre you're going to cut yourself a good long strip of ribbon and double it over, and that will be the handle, and that needs to be glued in place. And then at the bottom I'm going to add in a little tassel, and that will be glued in place along the bottom. So with a glue gun, I've just added a strip of glue down there and pressed the ribbon in, put another strip of glue in and folded the ribbon over, and then at the bottom I've added a spot of hot glue, and I've put the tassel in place. And then I'm just going to use my wet glue and close the two sides together, and again make sure that they're level and lined up, and hold it together. So now we've got the basic shape in place. Now, just to hide the workings at the top of the ornament, I've made a little bow, and I'm just going to glue one in place on that side of the handle and one in place on the back, and that will cover those workings up nice and neatly. Now, we're also going to do the same to the bottom part. We're going to add a little bow at the front and a little bow at the back, and then to tie all that in with the scheme, the colour scheme and the gems, I'm using some more Want to Scrap bling, and this again is self-adhesive, and I'm just going to pop one of these on each centre of the bows, and that will tie all that in together. So there you have some very pretty Christmas decorations. Very easy to make, very effective. But don't forget, you can also make them for other occasions as well. And you can also use the same technique with other shapes that you may have in your stash.